other side of live.
Welcome, everybody, to the other side of live. We are live here on the No Agenda stream and live from Gangplank Studios in Chandler, Arizona, as well as the Bears Den in Monticello, Georgia. It is the other side of live, where we give dancing lessons for dancing outside your comfort zone. Everybody say hello to Charles McFall of the Bear Crawling Nation. Say hello, Charles.
I like to do the tango outside of my comfort zone, but that's just me.
Do you really?
I get the universal, stirring the universal pot rose that I hold in my mouth and just dunk my head right in. There you go.
Well, tonight we're going to have an interesting show. It is Tosol number 31 for those of you turning in, and we will our guest tonight is Sarina Stone. We'll talk to her in just a little while. But first off, I want to say in the evening to everybody on the No Agenda stream.
And they'll say in the morning right back, but that's okay. Anyway.
I just want to try something new. And happy Valentine's Day, Charles McFall, the dark side of positive.
Well, I will give you this. The upside to today is that tomorrow is VD Day. I mean, they kind of go back together, Valentine's Day, then VD Day. It just happened. But the real upside is the sales, baby. Tomorrow we go chocolate shopping. And my kids, my wife love that.
See, and I just thought that tomorrow was Singles Awareness Day.
Yeah, well, sexual disease.
For those of us who are single.
I thought today was Singles Awareness Day. How more aware can you be than you're alone on a Hallmark holiday? Oh my God!
It might be. I'm actually working on on my podcast radio show with nobody yelling at me for doing that. Do you have somebody yelling at you? Is your wife upset that you're here talking to me and everybody else?
Nope, it's just another show night. She gets it. She loves it. It's all good.
There it is. Well, last week we had Cindy Lou, author of The 4-Man Plan, on, and it was a very entertaining conversation. I really enjoyed speaking with her, and I think you did too.
Yeah, she was very fun to speak with, and you learned some things. And actually, I kind of dropped the ball. I was supposed to talk to her a little bit more this past weekend, and I've just been very busy.
Life has been happening. You have been busy living your Valentine's Day celebration every day and not just today. That's what's been happening.
I try. I have tried. I told my wife the other day that I'm ready to take her out again to you just go out on a date, drop the kids off somewhere, and do that. So, you should drive the 15 hours it takes to get here to come watch my kids for me.
I'll do that in March or April. Tell you what, I'll babysit in April.
Fair enough.
All right, well, let's move on into the show. Tonight we have Sarina Stone, who is going to be speaking with us. And let's say hello to Sarina. Sarina, how are you?
I'm great.
There she is. There's the woman.
I'm coming to you from sunny Orlando, Florida today.
What are you doing in Orlando, Florida?
Well, everybody celebrates Valentine's Day in their own way. And for me, I wanted to spend mine with family. So I have brought my mother with me. We live in Minnesota. And so as a gift, my brother and I bought a plane ticket for her to come to Orlando and stay with more relatives. She's got 2 grandkids and a stepson and a daughter-in-law. So we've got a house full of kids and grown-ups, and we're going to Disney because my stepbrother works at Disney. And I'm just surrounded. I am really surrounded by loving family, and everybody wants to talk and share. So that's what I'm doing for Valentine's Day. I left the cold of Minnesota and came to sunny Florida, and I'm being loved a lot. Let me tell you, Auntie Sarina is like a favorite around here.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Sarina has taught natural health and the healing power of a smile to thousands of students since 1995. Her lighthearted approach to mind-body connection and our innate ability to heal or hurt ourselves has prompted her to become an author as well. Now, that may not sound too exciting or make any sense to everybody, but tonight we're talking about relationships and her new book, Why Real Couples Drink Straight Tequila, the Tao of Commitment. That's right, commitment. I said it, the C word, commitment. And later on, just a little bit later on, we're going to be talking about sex, kids. That's right. Uncle Mordant said sex in his deep, very white voice.
Oh, we decided to go the sex route.
We will. We will. I think, it's Valentine's Day, and I have to live vicariously through the airwaves. So, yes.
All right, then. That can be done.
So you just come out with your book, Why Real Couples Drink Straight Tequila, The Tao of Commitment. Do you want to tell us what that is about? And it would actually help promote this conversation.
Okay. All right. So as you mentioned already, I'm a natural health practitioner, and what that means is I do work with people's doctors. I am a fan of Western medicine, especially for its diagnostic properties. But beyond that, a lot of folks are trying to be healthy at home and save money from going to the doctor. So my little tiny piece of natural health is the mind-body connection. It says if you're happy, then your body will reflect that. And if you're unhappy, your body will reflect that. This is actually a segue into why I wrote these books. My experience is that the most profound feelings resulting in health or the lack of health come from love or the lack of love. Okay? And it prompted me to get heavy into the concept of conscious relationships. And I just explained what a conscious relationship is to a 12-year-old over the dinner table. And I think it's something that everybody can identify with. If you're happy, if your heart is full, you feel like you have lots of energy. And if your heart is broken, if you feel rejected or let down, the whole body can feel very, very heavy and ultimately get really sick. So knowing what I know, I needed to write about this, and it started what's going to end up being a five book series. And Mordant, you know a lot about book number 1, Why Real Women Drink Straight Tequila, The Tao of Intimacy, because you're the co-author.
Well, yeah, I had a little bit to do with that.
Yeah, you had a lot to do with it. You really brought it all together for me. And frankly, the format for this really fun, creative way of presenting self-help was largely formed by my time spent with you, because all the books following that now are going to follow that same format. It is Why Real Couples Drink Straight Tequila, The Tao of Commitment. It is actually self-help. Okay, there's some very technical things in here, but we pepper it with fun stories and a little bit of humor. So Why Real Couples Drink Straight Tequila is actually a handbook for couples, and it just isolates some of the big problems that I've seen between the sexes. And this book is mostly geared toward men and women. Men, who date men could read it. Women who date women could read it. But there's a whole lot of talking about what we say yin and yang, male and female, fire and water here in this book. We do address other aspects of sexuality, but really this is for the boys and the boys who date girls and the girls who date boys. And I hear the same problems all the time. As I'm a personal coach, I have a business, and I hear the same complaints all the time. Everybody's making their problems their partner's fault. So, and Mordant, you know a lot about this stuff. In this particular belief system, with the Tao, the way of nature, natural health, we very clearly say that the responsibility for our perception of our life and what we've manifested in our life, 100% of that falls onto the shoulders of the individual. My perception of my world, my relationships are the byproduct of my thinking. Okay?
So is that what you mean by a conscious relationship, or is that in keeping with that?
Totally. It means, well, I gave a very interesting explanation to a 12-year-old today, because she said, what's a conscious relationship, Auntie Sarina? I said, well, I watched you do something last night that showed me that you are not being conscious. You are not being awake. You knew at 9 o'clock you had to get ready for bed. You knew it. And you got on that computer at 10 minutes to 9 and started to play your game. You could have gotten up from the table at 8:30 and played for a half an hour, but you didn't do that. So when your mother approached you at 9 o'clock and said, it's time for bed, you snapped at her. You were a mean young lady, weren't you? And she, yeah, I was. Said you weren't thinking. You were not conscious. And the way you spoke to your mother, you weren't conscious. You had to backtrack and apologize, didn't you? Yes, I did. And if you'd been thinking about it, if you'd been aware, wouldn't you have chosen to start playing your game at 8:30 instead of 8:50? Yes, I would, Auntie Sarina. That's being conscious, sweetie. And now that you know you did that, you're more conscious and you can make new choices. Conscious relationships. If you go to school, if you have a job, if you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, family, you're in relationship. And that's really what this book is about. Being in relationship and making choices.
So what would be an example of let's say, a boyfriend and girlfriend where they're either being conscious or they're not being conscious? What would you equate that to?
Okay. Good question. All right. We're live, right?
You could still use the video game thing if the dude is like, okay, I'm gonna start playing my video game at 9 o'clock, and
Here's unconscious for you. Most of us have one friend, whether it be male or female, that keeps repeating the same relationship pattern. The girl that constantly goes out with the bad boy that ultimately dumps her. Well, this after a while it becomes an unconscious action because she keeps repeating the pattern. She could go to a bar with 100 men and she will pick the one man that treats her like the others. This is an unconscious behavior, and she's manifesting it. Now, once she understands, the common denominator in my relationships is me, and I am the one who is inviting in this negative behavior that hurts my feelings because this is what I expect. Once that realization snaps into place, we go from unconscious to conscious. We are aware now. Now, the next time the same young lady goes to a bar, she may pick another man that treats her like the others. But now she's consciously aware that she's doing it. And I guarantee you, if you just stick with it, if you're serious about having a better life and you stay conscious, that same young lady could, in 2, 3, 4 relationships down the road, completely alter her pattern by just staying aware or conscious.
So what you're saying basically is that we have to own our relationships. That things don't happen to us. It takes two to tango, but no matter what's happening in a relationship, it's up to us to change it for the better or become much more a part of it instead of just letting it happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you, Mordant, you know as well as I do, there are people out there that really enjoy their drama. This isn't for everybody. It's, we have a small listening audience, but that audience is growing bigger. There are enough people out there right now that want something better. They want more. They want deeper relationships. They want more juice out of their life. There's a growing audience of people that want that. So folks like you or myself, we're really lucky that we get to have a really entertaining conversation about connection and relationships. And then if you change your mind, the outside will follow. This is quantum physics. It's not something I made up.
Right. So what would you expect? Today's Valentine's Day. What would you, and since your book is about commitment and couples and everything like that, what do you think that couples should be doing today, this evening, to maintain that conscious relationship? What is something that, Charles maintains that every day should be Valentine's Day. You shouldn't pick just a specific day. But since this happens to fall on Valentine's Day, and we are talking about romance and actually being conscientious and conscious in your relationship, what do you suggest that somebody should do?
I think it depends on who we're talking to. This, Valentine's Day is like anything else. It can't really be homogenous. Auntie Sarina and Grandma here. bought anybody flowers. The children gave away Valentine's at school and received them. It was a part of their tradition. But the two grown-ups that are hosting, my mother and I, the way that they chose to have Valentine's Day was by having a family dinner. And you could tell they really enjoyed it. We cooked together. We ate together. We called other relatives using Skype so we could see each other. And for them, that was a way to feed the heart. If I was dating somebody and I was new, I might expect to have my rear end kissed a little bit more. I think it really goes from couple to couple. How do you want me to acknowledge you this day? What makes you, what helps you to know that you mean everything to me? What little or big thing can I do for you? So it goes from couple to couple. My family, my brother and his wife, they've been together so long. A family dinner, having their kids, it's enough. They're delighted. Somebody else, flowers, diamond rings, sexy lingerie, toys, woohoo! We like all of it. But something.
So basically, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. Isn't it really just about acknowledgement, saying, hey, you're somebody that, fills my heart and makes me happy to wake up in the morning. I just wanted to acknowledge you, and you could acknowledge me too, and I'll act like I like it, I mean, we live in a really busy society, Mordant. So, I talk to so many couples. What are you doing on Valentine's Day? Oh, my God, is Valentine's Day coming? Yeah, you probably want to deal with that. Okay. I think it depends on who you're talking to and where the people are. City people, my goodness, they go so fast. I think some of my lady friends had to lasso their boyfriends and drag them in, to the restaurant. But I always tell them, wear that lingerie underneath. They'll be delighted you were there.
Right. Well, I just want to put it out to the chat room. If anybody is interested in calling in, 813-413-7133. You can join in on this conversation. You can ask questions. Let us know what you're doing on your Valentine's Day as well.
Now,
So, Sarina, go ahead, Charles.
Okay. I was going to say my major complaint about it is I would do anything my wife wanted. If she wanted to celebrate it, I don't care what I think about it. I'm going to celebrate it with her. However, my major complaint is that's the day where people feel alone. They feel sorry for themselves. They tend to, if you're not with somebody, you mope. Or if you're not getting your expectations met, you're depressed. Would you say, Sarina, because my thought has always been this, and I would see if you agree or disagree or have a different view. Would you say that if there weren't a Valentine's Day, maybe we'd focus more on the day-to-day stuff and not be disappointed so much on this day? 'Cause it seems to be, in my experience, there are more people disappointed on Valentine's Day than are pleasantly surprised.
Well, I don't know that I agree or argue with the statement. Of course, there are plenty of people that are unhappy on Valentine's Day. There's also a lot of people that are unhappy on Christmas and people that are unhappy on Thanksgiving because they don't have somebody to in their perception, they don't have someone to share that experience with. But you got to get, Charles, that where I'm coming from, and I know it's a strange point of view, I say that my perception of the world is 100% my perception. For example, I travel for work a lot. It is not uncommon that I'm not with my family on Christmas. Well, I'm Jewish, but it doesn't matter. It's the holiday season.
Sure.
So I could sit around and feel horrible. There's absolutely a possibility for me. I don't have a special someone. I can't find my mother. I'm here in, Thailand or Vietnam. That is an option. The other option is to get online and find out where I can go to a homeless shelter or somewhere where I could serve the community and feed meals to the homeless and do something where I could be embraced by other human beings and be a part of something bigger than sitting around and focusing on the fact that I don't have what Charles has. I have a little tiny piece of me is a little bit envious of anybody who has a partner. And I think all of you who have that every day should be grateful just for 1 minute in the morning. Do a little prayer of gratitude that you get to wake up next to somebody that you love and who supports you. That being said, I don't think it makes your life better than mine. I just think it makes it different. And there are times when I feel like you have something I don't, because you do. But it doesn't mean that the love that I get from my family, my friends, and my community isn't enough, because they are. It's wonderful. Do you see my point? It's my perception of Valentine's Day that's going to make this a really fun experience or something really horrible. I'm not here with a husband or boyfriend. I could have very easily felt lesser than, because I sat at a table without a beloved partner in that way. I could have gone that way, but it's just not what came up for me. I was having a ball with my niece, my nephew, Do you see the difference? It's a point of view.
No, yes, I agree. It's the perception of it. We like you were saying, I totally agree with that. We make ourselves feel lesser than. We look around and go, oh, if I only had that, thinking it's so great when maybe it's not. We look around and say, oh, I'm alone, instead of saying, in some cases, some people want to be independent. They would call that independent, not alone. It just seems like this time of year is when society basically rises up to throw it in your face. It's hard to be strong enough to have that perception of, I don't need this. I mean, it was such a great thing when my wife and I just talked about it. We were like, do we really care on a deep level? Does this say something to us about how we're loved if we celebrate this day? And we both thought about it deeply and honestly. And this is a number of years ago. Well, you know what? We really do try to take care of each other. We try to, at the time, we were having a date night at least once a month, if not more. This is before we had 3 kids. And we saw, we saw that we made the effort in each other's lives. So, this day is no different. Plus, we don't like crowds. So we don't want to have to fight the lines to get that rose and this and that, the other. So it was a freeing thing for us to go, we don't need the society's pressure. We don't care. We know how we take care of it ourselves. I just feel bad for those who focus on what society is saying and can't get their head up to be conscious of their life and where they are.
Well, does anybody know who Saint Valentine was?
He was
Does anybody?
Yeah, I love how they put it on this show. He was a Catholic, or he's a upstart, talk too much that the Catholic Church put down.
Oh. So I wonder, to be honest with you, I'm asking because I don't know.
Oh.
I believe I thought he was I think he was a priest that you had to get permission to marry couples. You had to get permission, I think, from the emperor to marry couples. And whether it was just one couple or a bunch of couples, he did it anyways without that permission. So they threw him in jail. And he wound up falling in love with, I believe, the jailer's daughter. And they would send notes back and forth to each other, and he would sign him, either your Valentine or something like that. Eventually he was executed for doing this. But that's how the whole tradition comes, notes from your Valentine. And then he, achieved sainthood and made a lot of money for Hallmark.
Yeah, but the heart.
Look, it's sort of. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, from what I understand, they didn't just throw him in jail. They tortured him. They how they did back in the day, where they would take pieces of your body off. They'd torture you. And from what I understand, the last bit of it was they put his heart on a spike in the center of town as a warning to others. That's now,
if that's not romantic, I don't know what is.
Well, I'm sitting here. I'm like, wow, I don't even know what to say to that. That is rough.
And like you said, part of it was definitely the whole falling in love with I'm not sure if it's the jailer's daughter or not, but he fell in love and he kept trying to get back to her, and that's the romantic part of the story, I guess. I'm not sure.
Well, to go back to your thoughts, Charles. Look, I don't see anything wrong with having one day of the year where, as a nation, we focus on love, or where we focus on something that the Catholics and the Christians think is important, as in Christmas, or as Jews, we've got our Hanukkah. I don't have a problem with any of that. I think it's okay. Martin Luther King Day, it does or we have African American month, I believe. And
Yes,
a student of mine went bananas. African American month. How dare they? Why don't we have it every day? I'm like, look, it's just an observation. Nobody said that when it's not African American month, you're not supposed to care. That is not what we're saying. We're just giving special observance to something that somebody in power thought was very important. So for me to have a day of love is terrific. I don't have a problem with it. And gosh, for those of us who are personal coaches, I mean, it is just, we make bank because there's so many unhappy people. So I'm not really in a position to complain. And I always have the same answer for everybody. You guys, it's just a day of observance. And if there's something about yourself that you need to transform or repair, this is a great opportunity to look at it. Making love an ugly thing is outrageous. And like, I like the way that Charles and his wife spoke about it. They talked about it. You guys love each other so much. You are so tight at this point in your relationship that do you need to go out for a special dinner and wait in line and try to get the flowers? Not really. Your chances are, Charles, you're showing the woman on a regular basis that she is your queen. Okay?
Yes.
And so, you don't need to go out of your way. If I just met you, on the other hand, I might, like I said, I might like my rear end kissed a little bit more. You're trying to win me over, for God's sakes. But at this point in the game, the love should be deep enough that, you can, you probably don't have to do a lot with it.
Well,
And I've met your wife. I think that she is the queen of that household.
Oh, yeah, dude. If she had not approved of you, you would not be sleeping on my couch. Without a doubt.
Thanks. I sound awesome now. That's great.
To flip that too, though.
Those are the words of a very intelligent man. I am a female, and I can tell you, my experience is when the mama is happy, everybody's happy.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah. Come on, we all know that's true.
Yeah.
And
all right.
We know that. Now, another thing you'll notice, and I'll go back to the book, Why Real Couples Drink Straight Tequila. Guys, we have to keep a sense of humor about this. Come on. We both know, I'm a female again, so I know, keeping us happy, it's not simple. It is never simple to keep your woman happy. So, part of what I believe in is keeping a sense of humor. Be light about it. If you can't laugh at the end of the day, you're running the risk of going to bed angry, and that's a huge mistake. Anybody who is in a committed relationship knows that. Going to bed angry, huge mistake. So we have a sense of humor. Ladies, we let you guys win by letting you think it was your idea. And guys, you let us win by literally letting us win, And, in the end, we take care of each other. In the end, we take care of each other. And you got to laugh about some of this stuff. When you think about the crazy behavior you've displayed, she's displayed, he's displayed, I mean, really, if you got to laugh. This is some funny stuff.
Yeah.
Now, you brought up a point that I want to ask you about. You talked about your tequila book series. Why tequila? Why? I mean, yeah, it's a good drink and all that, but this, you're talking about relationships. You're talking about your first book is Why Real Women Drink Straight Tequila. This one is Why Do Couples Tequila? Why tequila? Go ahead, shoot it.
Tequila is a metaphor. And, well, okay, wait. Here's the truth. In the beginning, I just thought Why Real Women Drink Straight Tequila was a wonderful title. A friend of mine gave it to me. And I just thought, wow, what a great title. And the truth is, people literally bought the book because of the title. They had no idea what was inside of it. So it did work, okay? In the end, I have done a bunch of interviews, and I've had to answer this question. And the truth is that I've got really lucky in that the way I use tequila, it's a metaphor for life. In that We talk about real couples, real women, real men, real people, and why they would drink straight tequila. We talk about people who are willing to get out there and expose themselves. No, not physically, but I mean mentally and emotionally. Work hard, roll up your sleeves, participate. At the end of the day, if you're going to be a responsible, conscious adult, there's nothing wrong with going home, sitting in a lovely environment, bringing out some nice crystal glasses, pouring yourself a high-end glass of tequila on the rocks if you like it, and having a cocktail, something that is a little expensive maybe, and pamper yourself. If you're going to work hard, you should play hard. So why real women or why real couples drink straight tequila? It's just a metaphor. It says, I just spent all day long examining myself, working hard, opening up, trying to be a decent human being, make a difference in a positive way, all that stuff that that we strive for. Why not, at the end of the day, just sit back and blow off a little steam, unwind, and relax? So that's what tequila is.
So you're
Make
saying
sense?
that relationships are a little bit of work then?
Yeah. Have you found one that isn't?
No. All the good ones are,
Yeah.
but if you can keep it fun at the same time, then the work is play and the play is work. And somewhere in there, you can have your tequila and drink it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you want to call in and become a part of this conversation, 813-413-7133. Feel free to call and ask Sarina Stone your questions. Say hi to Charles and I, and know that we are here for you on this Valentine's Day.
Yay!
So Sarina, yay! So Sarina,
Yes,
sex, couples, Valentine's Day, sex. I'm going to say it a few more times. Sex. We're going to talk about sex, baby. I know for a fact, and I've also...
I thought we were... go ahead. You ask me questions because you know my education.
Yeah. I do know, but people listening don't. I know that you're, and I'm using little quote marks here because you're going to introduce this to them. You're an expert on Taoist sexual practices, and that just sounds really woo-woo, sounds really out there, but it's still sex. So what is that? What does that mean?
Okay, so this word Tao is a Chinese word. It means the way of nature. Another translation for that is the way without force. Some people just say the way. So let's clarify that. Tao or Taoism is not a religion. It is it's a philosophy on life that says we are natural and we have relationships with other natural entities. You're a human being. If you eat plants, you eat animals. So everything has a relationship with the plants and animals around it. The cosmos even, that's also a natural thing. So that's the Tao, the way of nature. All right. Now, inside of this, we have the medicine, natural medicine. Okay. That's a branch of Taoism. And it happens to be the one that I am well studied in. A small piece of this, not the biggest, that's just a small piece of natural medicine, is understanding that men and women create reproductive energy. And men create it in the form of semen or sperm. That's a whole lot of little fishies in there beating their tails real fast. 8 to 10 million sperm in a healthy male ejaculation. Each one of them beats its tail so fast. In order to see it, you got to film it and slow it down. That is a lot of energy. Okay. Now, once a month, until a woman goes through menopause, where she stops ovulating or, getting an egg ready, that's ovulation, is to get an egg ready to be fertilized by the sperm. Once a month, we go through ovulation, and for about 3 days, we have one egg with so much energy in it that it can make life. Okay. It has thousands of little hairs on it called cilia. And imagine that they're waving Okay, they're waving like underwater, but really what those little cilias are waving at, they're waving at the sperm. Hello, boys, come here, come hither, for about 3 days, okay? And the sperm have one goal: get to the egg, get to the egg, get to the egg, okay? So this is a lot of energy that the male and the female body makes. If you want to make a baby, you just stop right there and let nature take its course. But if you don't want to make a baby, what we know in natural medicine is that this energy that the body produces, for men it's every day, for women it's every month, this energy actually can be harnessed and kept inside the body. So when I talk about sexual practices, it is a lot more medical than one might think. Everybody thinks they're going to get into this big, sexy conversation, and sometimes I do. Absolutely. We talk about exchange energy. That's very sexy. It's very loving. It's beautiful, actually. It makes sex different. Charles already knows this because he's in love with his wife. Mm-hmm. He is exchanging loving energy because it's a very natural thing to do. It's, all right, so some of us study how to do it. He's just doing it, okay? It's true.
You hear that, Charles? You're a master.
It's true.
That's right.
It's the whole, it's like if you're a sexually active adult in the Tao, the whole point is if you're cultivating your ability to share with someone else is to open your heart so much that you actually connect to be doing this as well, so that you're consciously connecting your hearts, consciously blending your loving energy, and it makes sex different. Anybody who's ever been in love knows exactly what I'm talking about. There's a huge difference between banging somebody and loving somebody. I'm not saying one is better, by the way. I'm just saying they're different.
You can do both at the same time, too.
Oh, heck yeah.
If it's really good, you can do both at the same time.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of people come to me with ailments. For example, they're tired. They're trying to heal something in their body that's, a sickness, and they're fatigued all the time. And so I do work with men and women, and I'll explain more in a minute, and teach how to harness your reproductive energy, keep it inside your body, circulate it, refine it, and use it for your physical health. And I just wanted to clarify. Pardon?
The men, too. The men are going to keep their sexual energy and all their juicy stuff inside their body.
Yeah, and I wanted to clarify something. I do speak to men on this subject. I do teach courses, but if I'm going to work with men in a classroom setting, there will always be a male teacher, and we separate the class when it comes time to do things like testicle massage, breast massage, things like that. It is a part of having a healthy body. If you have a set of testicles, you should try massaging them, and you'll see. I mean, it's really quite liberating. And women, as a breast cancer prevention, I'm not saying for sure, but it is absolutely acknowledged by our Western doctors, breast massage at least 2 or 3 times a week will help pump the lymphs in the breast tissue and prevent lumps from forming, which is actually why white blood cells come to fight those lumps in the lymph system, and it can unfortunately turn into cancer. So when we do these things, this testicle massage, prostate massage, breast massage, I choose to separate the men and the women. I work with women. I have the male instructor work with the men. I will take men to a certain point one-on-one in their practice. It's too complicated to explain. But as soon as touching of genitalia, comes into the picture, I am out of the picture. So I wanted to clarify, guys, if you're looking for a female coach, I'm only going to take you so far. Wanted to make sure everybody knew that. So yeah, we in the Tao, we believe that the exchange of loving sexual energy is, frankly, it's part of creating the elixir of life. There is no Tao practice that doesn't involve love, not one. It is the magic ingredient to everything. I think thus interviewing me and asking about sex on Saint Valentine's Day, I was all over that, because it all comes back to love. Not one of these practices in the Tao work if you can't open your heart. The heart is the master organ to all the other ones.
Well, it sounds like you're just getting back to gratitude and being thankful for everything that you have, and keeping your heart open in your relationship, in your, even in the workplace or whatever, certainly in the bedroom. It sounds like it all gets back to gratitude.
I agree with that 100%. And frankly, wise people throughout history have agreed with what you've just said.
Excellent. Well,
yeah, absolutely.
How exactly does all of this apply to romance? I mean, you talk about some of the Taoist sexual practices. You talk about Taoism. You talk about all of that stuff. How does that work your way? How does all of this apply to romance? Since we're, on Valentine's Day.
Well, gosh, how doesn't it? Okay, let's see. I'm talking to two gentlemen here. Have you ever tried being nice to a woman who has got PMS?
Yeah.
I think we both have, but Charles in the relationship,
yeah.
So
you kind of have to, don't you?
Have you ever, she's in, okay, her hormones are off balance, and I'm talking PMS. It doesn't count if your wife doesn't get PMS, premenstrual syndrome, for your listeners that don't know. When the female hormones go completely out of whack, the estrogen drops dramatically, and all what we're left with is a lot of testosterone and progesterone. We wake up in the morning and want to kill the first thing that we think about, okay? So if any of you gentlemen listening have tried to be nice to a lady, God forbid you want something, while we're going through a spell of this premenstrual syndrome, you might as well just go buy a chocolate bar, toss it at her, and get out. There's nothing you can do. We are inconsolable. So the practical applications of all this stuff and how it applies to romance, oh my gosh, it's very clear and concise. The mind has to be balanced. Balance is the word here, and centered. The body has to be balanced, and what your brain reflects what your body reflects. I'm getting a little tongue-tied. Your body reflects what the brain is doing, okay? So you have to have balanced emotions. You have to have a balanced body in order to even be peaceful and calm enough to entertain the thoughts of love, romance, and connection. If we're in survival, or we're overly angry or agitated in some way, loving connection takes a backseat to the fact that we want to hunt something down and kill it. So, that's just one example of how it's all connected. If, again, I started writing these books because the thing that made the people the most sick as a natural health practitioner was a broken heart. You can die, okay? You can die of a broken heart. So you can also cure cancer. And I know that sounds like an outrageous thing when we hang up, but, we've all seen miracles happen when love enters into somebody's life. If they want to be alive bad enough, and love is one of those things that makes you want to be alive. If they want to be alive bad enough, miracles do happen in the body. Of course, there's other things you might need to do, okay? Change your diet, move your body. Stop whining, for God's sakes. There's all kinds of things. But it really it's one big ball. It's very hard to be happily in love when your body is thick, heavy, and in pain. You ask any woman, hey, you're 40 pounds overweight, honey, and you feel like crap. You want to get naked and prance around in front of your man in the light? Nope. Nope. And the lengths that we will go to so that you guys don't want to look at us are outrageous. Now we start getting all mental about it. Anything to make you guys go away. Why? Because we feel bad about ourselves. But the flip side of that is true as well. So when a lady, and by the way, guys do this too, you just don't talk to each other about it as much. You talk to me. I hear it. Men do, if they don't feel good about themselves, they're not prancing around naked either, okay? So it does go hand in hand. Feeling good about ourselves, being healthy, and sexuality, and then, of course, romance is tied up with sexuality. It's all one ball, and that's what the word holistic means. When people study holistic medicine or holistic lives, they're saying that my brain is connected to my body. And, my mental state is about my brain. And it somehow is all connected. So if I ignore any one area, I lose. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Well, we're getting close to the end of our show, so I want you to just, I want you to give out, if there's anything, any one thing of advice you can give to couples on this Valentine's Day, about the Tao of Commitment or anything else. And then after that, I want to pimp you out with where people can find you, et cetera, et cetera. So what advice can you give to people here in 2012 on Valentine's Day?
You know what? I've got a good one for that one. Since we were young, all of our psychologists and those nice people, our counselors at school, they all told us the most important thing is to love yourself. Okay? So on Valentine's Day, if you really want to do something special, how about you just sit down for 1 second and do a quick prayer of gratitude for the wonderful people who've allowed you into their life, who've allowed you to make a difference for them. Be grateful that these people let you love them and let you help them and hold them up and be there for them. And through this remembrance of connection, feel how the self-love grows. You make a difference. You're important. People care. That's what I have to say about Valentine's Day.
I think that's a good place to start. Love yourself. And as you take care of yourself and take care of your body and take care of your mind and your spirit, eventually that's going to stretch out to everybody else. And of course, if you can't love yourself, therein lies a lot of the world's problems. So I think that's some grand advice on Valentine's Day is begin with your heart, begin with your home. So Sarina, where can people find you and your book?
I've got something for your listeners that's free. Go to my website. I meant to mention my website every 5 minutes, and I was so enthralled in our conversation I forgot. My name is spelled Sarina Stone, Stone, Sarina Stone. So go to sarinastone.com, and on the front page there is a free MP3 that's an audio meditation called The Inner Smile. It's free. You have to give me your first name and your email address, because that means that if I ever put a newsletter together, you're going to get one, but I don't have one right now. And you can download the Inner Smile meditation for free. It's a gift. Go and take it. While you're on that website, if you go to the relationship advice button, you're going to find Why Real Women Drink Straight Tequila, the Tao of Intimacy, and you're going to see your pal, R. Mordant Mon, right there on the cover of the book, because he's the co-author. That would be the yellow book. And Why Real Couples Drink Straight Tequila, the Tao of Commitment, will also be on that page. There's lots of other wonderful things. If you are into natural health, go and just run around my website and learn about how you can meditate and smile for health. Please go to the Chi Family page and learn about how to teach your little ones, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, how to smile to their heart, smile to their liver. I'm really passionate about Chi Kids. Go to the website, have a great time, and look for R. Mordant Mon's name on the relationship advice page, because he's all over it.
Well, excellent. So there you go. SarinaStone.com. We will put up a link in our show notes, and they'll be able to find you very, very easily. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on our Valentine's Day special.
Woohoo! Thank you for inviting me, guys. This was a real treat.
I know you're having fun with your family in Florida. Say hi to Marshall and Rosie for me.
I will.
And I'm sure I will talk to you again soon. So thank you very much. Charles and I are going to continue on our conversation, but thank you, Sarina Stone.
Hey, guys, have a great show. Thanks again.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
And everybody's saying thanks in the chat room, so that there's there. And I wanted to point out really quickly, Livid Viv, do you know where she is tonight in the world?
I don't know. Where is she at tonight in the world?
Livid Viv here in the chat room live, which is, of course, 9:30 p.m. Tuesday nights. You can come out to bearcrawlingnation.com/NAS or noagendachat.net and tune in live and be in the chat room and call in and all that jazz. She was tuning in last week, and she told me where she's going to be. She is tuning in from Bombay, India, currently. Mumbai, sorry.
Wow.
Mumbai, India.
What time is it there?
It is tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. So what did she do for her Valentine's Day?
She apparently ordered all the chocolates in the hotel. But she said she loves having this chat first thing in the morning because it gives her something to reflect on throughout the day. So I thought that was a very interesting take on it, and very cool that you took us with you to India. And I did put her up last week. I said, you know what? You have to bring back a major Indian listening base for us. So yeah, you got your day cut out for you. Go and be the Mordant prophet.
Well, the other side of live profit. Hey, we'll send you business cards. You can use those. You know what I have waiting for me at home? Waiting for me at home in my refrigerator. I was gifted with a gift that came through the mail today, and I opened it up, and I'm like, what is this squishy bag of, it's like ice that's melted in here, and underneath it, chocolate-covered strawberries in different shapes and forms, and I have not broken into it yet, but I'll tell you, if I was on a diet, I'd be going off of it. I'm definitely going to have some tonight.
My wife loves chocolate-covered strawberries. I've never seen the appeal of it.
You don't like strawberries?
Not really. I'm not a huge strawberry. I like the strawberry candies, and I like what is it? The like strawberry jam. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a texture thing, I guess, for me. I'm not a fan of the fruit that is a strawberry.
But you like chocolate?
Nope, don't like chocolate either.
Well, maybe there's your problem, my friend. Maybe that's why you don't like chocolate-covered strawberries.
BC and Amanda asked, was it from Ronnie? Did you get the strawberries from Ronnie?
No, I got these from my very good friend, Sharon Watson.
Cheers to that. Mine must have been lost in the mail, but it's okay. I don't like chocolate-covered strawberries, so it's all right.
Well, see, she was going to send them to you. I suggested, why don't you send them to Charles? She's like, you know what? I was going to do that, but I know he does not like strawberries or chocolate.
That's right.
So
she
no
pays
more.
attention.
I will not send these to him. I will show him love by giving him nothing.
And I appreciate that. More power to you. Sharon Watson here in the chat room live. She knows how to pay attention to people, and I can appreciate that. That's awesome.
No, we both do. We both do,
That's
definitely.
right.
Hey, next week we're doing something different. Guess what we're not going to have next week?
A show. That's right, people.
We're not. No.
Well, you might.
Thanks for just, upending me right there. No, we're not going to have a guest. It's just you and me, baby.
That's right. We're going to do the Success Free segment next week, and we're going to do it in full. And as long as I get my mind together and my boudoir in gear, I will have a bumper for it ready to go.
Instead of me singing Success Freak, go! Instead of that.
Yes. And it wouldn't hurt if once a day you texted me like, have you made it yet?
Oh, dude, I will do this.
Just once.
I will do this, and I will.
Once a day, but yes, I give you permission to hit me once a day until next Tuesday. Say, have you done it yet?
We have other No Agenda Stream duties to attend to.
Yes, we do. We got to make some promos and get some good stuff going. And we're going to be working on that soon. But, everything in its time and place. And we want everybody to know that we are successful and we're freaks.
Yeah, definitely. Now we're gonna wrap the show. A show around that. It's not going to be just that.
All right.
We're not sure what it's going to be about yet. So if you have any suggestions for that, you can email us at Tosol, which stand, the other side of live, Tosol at theothersideoflive.com, and maybe we'll follow your suggestion and of what we're going to talk about.
And that
depends.
If you could hear that in the background, that was our 5-minute warning. So we are getting down to the edge. And you see here in the chat room, BC and Amanda, are you guys ever going to do the positive negative emotions show? Mm-hmm.
I guess we could throw that in. It was kind of like our standby. It's our standby. Hey, look, if we don't have a show, we're going to do this.
But if we stand by forever, we'll never go anywhere.
I don't know if
Art
the
of War,
positive and negative emotions is a whole show. But maybe next week, because we're really going to be concentrating on success freaks and what you think does affect your reality. So maybe you're right. Maybe we need to it'll be a whole what you think affects your reality, and then the positive of negative emotions like anger and sadness. What's the positive behind that? And there is a positive.
There you go. So have you ever met me? I can make a whole show of just about anything, dude. You want to talk Borderlands? We'll do a whole Tosol show on Borderlands, baby. I'm just saying.
You know what? If you want to talk Borderlands, I'm happy to do it on your show, Bear Crawling Live. Where can you find that show? When is that show?
That is right here on the No Agenda stream, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, Thursday nights, every Thursday night. Love being here on the stream. And you can find it, like I said, through noagendachat.net or my personal favorite, just because it's right inside the Bear's Den, bearcrawlingnation.com/NAS. Also, I want to throw something to you. We're working out the details on how to make it work. I've already talked to David on your behalf. But as you may know, if you listen to a bunch of different podcasts, there's this new program out there called Talk Pipe, Speak Pipe, I think. And you even mentioned it to me earlier today. You can test it out. It's right there on the NAS, the bearcrawlingnation.com/NAS, all the way to the right. It even has a nice little orange flag on, hey, we'd love to hear from you. All you have to have is a microphone. You hit the button. It says, can I use your microphone? You hit yes, and it starts recording. And you go, hey, Mordant, hey, McFall. I just want to say hey. And that's it. And then you hit stop. It saves it. You're done. The beta, the real beta, bearcrawlingnation.com. I said the wrong address. Facebook.com/bearcrawlingnation. There's a nice little tab that says voicemail. Hit it there. And thanks to Nolan Overton, we have a little tab on the Facebook page that we're testing out to see if it will work on Facebook, so you can leave voicemails while you're there playing your slots games and Cityville and Castleville and Tosolville and everything else that you play.
Now, those of you listening to us live, you can listen to older episodes of The Other Side of Live. You just go to theothersideoflive.com, or you can find us on iTunes. Those of you listening to us on iTunes or via some other pre-recorded venue, you can listen every Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, bearcrawlingnation.com/NAS.
Did you send an email
That's
already?
Where you can find that.
Tosol.
Yeah, I said that already. You know what I didn't say was, facebook.com/BCN Tosol, Bear Crawling Nation Tosol.
All right, baby.
You said something that I liked a little while ago. Mordant and McFall.
Yeah, I've been putting. Have you not noticed? I've been subtly branding that on the Tosol page.
No, this is the first time I saw McFall, but yeah, you're right. That's good. It's good.
M&M, baby. Everybody wants to buy us, and I'm full of brown stuff.
Yeah, we're a little nutty, though. Nutty and covered with chocolate. So Charles doesn't like us.
Here comes the Take Us Home music. And 5, 4, 3. No, it's not actually music. It's just the foghorn saying, time to take us home, Mordant.
All right, well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to The Other Side of Live. Thank you, Sarina Stone, for being our guest. We will see you next Tuesday night.
So raise your
Ciao, dream catchers.
So raise your glasses to our
Oh, baby. One day I'll remember that.